Did I just do a one-take talk? What? So excuse my sleepy eyes. I am trying to get work done enough to where I can go to bed at a decent time tonight. But we'll see. It's the weekend. I might get caught up in YouTube, or I might get caught up in Netflix, or I might get caught up talking to people at home. You never know. But my plan right now is to get some sleep because I'm really tired. But before I do that, let me tell you about my day today. It was Friday. My week. I have not initially thought it was the right day on any day of this week. Like, it seems like it's so far from Monday, but this week has gone by so fast that I was just like, it was Wednesday, and I was like, please tell me it's Wednesday. I didn't want my students to tell me it was Tuesday, because if they told me it was Tuesday, I'd be very depressed on that day. And then today I was like just sitting there thinking about what I had to do next and like getting ready for the next class, and I was like, it's Friday. And they were like, yeah. And I was like, I just remembered that. I didn't know what day it was until I remembered it. And so I've just been really off this week. And I think it's because I've been going to bed much later than I need to be. But my last planned lesson for my classes, I did the first round today. And then I do the second round on Monday, and then we're doing review Tuesday and Wednesday, and we're watching a movie, and then we're taking a test on Thursday and Friday, so I don't have to plan anything else until I'm down in Panama teaching, and even then, it's like I have to start over again, so I'm getting eased in again, so I probably won't come up with anything until the second week or something like that. And so I'm trying not to coast in class, because I'm I still need to give some information to my kids. We need to wrap up things and start another unit and do some stuff. But I'm trying so hard not to just check out and be here's the slides. I'm just going to sit here and you take some notes type of thing. So I'm trying really hard not to do that. But it's kind of difficult. I'm just really tired. Hopefully Monday I'll come back and we'll be good. We'll come back on an even day. And so those classes are fairly tame, so we'll see how it goes. But today we did traditional PowerPoint. I got to use my clicker a lot, and I walked around the room a lot. And we were talking about the beginning of the Cold War, and so I tried out a jigsaw for the first time. If you don't know what a jigsaw is, basically you break up your students. You have 3 or 4 articles that are circulating, but they circulate in a way to where the students read and answer questions or read and do an activity on their own, and then they find the group with the same article as them, and they talk about it, discuss it, become experts on that topic and that article, and then they go to a second group that's mixed, and so there will be 4 kids in each group, and each of those kids has a different article. And then they need to share their article. They become the expert for that article, and they share the information that they read and the questions and their answers and all that stuff. And so each person has read one, and they've heard the background or a summary from each of the other articles. And so it's a little jigsaw. There's a jigsaw puzzle that fits in, and so I decided to try that one out today, because everything else been technology, do this, do that. And so I was let's just do some good old-fashioned reading and paper and writing answers to questions. Let's just do that for a change. And so there was no Google Classroom today. But my first class, it worked out fine. I was trying to work it out last night and denote who's with who. Usually you would use different color paper, but I didn't have different color paper, so I just put 1A and 2A and 3A and then 1B, 2B, 3B. And then I was oh, but what do they do for the second one? And so I was oh, okay, so each of these has a shape. And so the 1As had stars. There was one that's it was stars, squares, circles, a crescent shape, a lightning bolt, and I think there was one other, but that might be it. But they had like shapes. And so when the first time we did it, they got to their first group. That worked out fine. I was like, did it work? Did it work? Yes, it's working. Okay, we're good. And then the second group, they went, and I was like, does it look like it's working? And one of the students was like, yeah, it worked out. And then I was like, so everybody in your group should have a different article. And they were like, what? Because I have the same one as her, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, crap. And what I had done was I gave them, basically I split the class into A's and B's. And within A, there's 1, 2, 3. And within B, there's 1, 2, 3. And they're like going into groups within those like halves. I forgot to do the same type of concept when I was putting the shapes. And so if you had a heart shape, or if you had a star shape, you were with everyone else that had a star shape, but you were with 1A and 1B star. You were with 2A, 2B star, and 3A, 3B star. When it was supposed to be 1, 2, 3A star, and then 1, 2, 3B star. And so the first class that was small enough, they're a good guinea pig class because they're small. They're honors for one, so they can catch on quickly, and I can explain to them easier, and they'll understand. And two, they're a small honors class, and so if it goes wrong, there's not a whole lot of people asking, hey, what's up? Something's wrong. What am I supposed to do? Blah, 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 blah. It's like they can manage it, and it's good, a good size class to deal with. And so when we found out that I didn't do it right, I was like, okay, so it's fine. You just have 2 experts then on this one article. So those 2 share the rest of them, what you talked about, and then we'll just pair up. So we'll do it like that. And so I was like, well, now I know when I do it in the next class, I need to write the letters. And so I spent the lunch period writing A, B next to the stars and shapes and stuff. So the second period I had, it worked better, but the students just weren't doing it, and so it didn't work as well as it could have with it being fixed because they didn't want it to work. Like, they had their phones out, I was telling them to put them away, they just wouldn't listen, and it's like, I don't feel comfortable taking the phone, 1, because I'm a student teacher, 2, because the school I'm at specifically has been kind of flip-floppy on whether we'd be like protected if we took a phone and a student got mad, or if we took a phone and something happened to it. So I just don't want to be responsible for their phone. I also don't really want to kick students out of the class, which surprisingly a lot of my teachers have given me the advice to just kick them out of the class and like tell them to go somewhere else. But 1, they'll just be walking the halls. 2, they're not getting any of the information. At least if they're in class, they might be getting something, or remember, oh, I think I've heard that word before because I was in here. I may not know what it means because I was on my phone, but I've heard it before. And so I just don't like kicking them out, and I don't like taking the phones. So when I ask them to get off their phone and they don't, I just have to keep asking them to do it, and then they'll put it away for like a minute, but it's just out again. And so I just can't compete with the phone. Like, what's more interesting, your Facebook or the Cold War? I mean, depending on the student, the Cold War, but most likely it's going to be Facebook. And so that's one of the major problems I have, is they are on their phones, and then I tell them to get off, and they either give me an attitude or they just don't get off. And then they're having side conversations about a text conversation they had with someone else, and it's just not working for me. And so, like, I can say all I want, and I could probably take phones away, but I feel like that would just cause more problems than it's worth. And honestly, if you're not gonna give me the time of day to pay attention, I mean, how do you want me to help you? Like, I'm here for you. I'm giving you the information. You know that you can come ask me, like, if you missed something, what'd you miss? And I could help you. I'd be glad to. But if you're not going to even initially pay attention, then why should I put effort into helping you if you don't care? I mean, I want to care about you, and I want you to care about yourself as well, but, you know, I can only do so much. Like, so with that class always makes me think that I need to get one of those little, I've seen on Amazon, it's like a little box, and it has lockers in it, and it has phone chargers in it. And so you can give your student the key for their locker, and they put their phone in the locker, and it charges while it's in there, and they lock it away. And then at the end of class, they can get the phone out and put the key in or whatever. And so I really am thinking about getting one of those. The only problem is there's a couple problems. One, they're $300, and I don't know if it's worth the investment. And two, since I don't know if it's worth the because I don't know if it's worth the investment, I don't know if I want to buy it, because I don't know if kids are going to actually put their phones in there. And then if they don't put their phone in there, what do I do then? I guess if I'm an actual teacher, I guess I wouldn't mind telling them straight out, put your phone in the locker, and if you don't put your phone in the locker and I see you using it, then my rule is that I take it. So that might be what I do. I don't know. I haven't decided if my first year I want to just outright have it, or if I want to see how it goes, and then if I feel like I need it and I can't stop it from the first day, get one the next year. So I don't know. Some things to think about, and I definitely have a lot more things to think about and at least flesh out about how I want my classroom to look and how I want classroom management to go and everything. So we'll see when we get there. But yeah, so I'm up on my last week in the States, like I keep saying, and I'm super excited. It's starting to hit me now that I'm going to be on a plane to Panama not this time, tomorrow around this time, I'll be on a plane to Panama. I'm excited. And so this weekend I have to do some more research about my school down there, about things to do on the weekends and stuff, because they're making it sound like we're not going to have a lot of work to do, and so every weekend we should be out exploring. So I'm going to do some research this weekend on things to do, and just kind of get excited for that trip. That squared away next week. We'll see. I don't know. So that I can just coast when I get to Panama and not have to worry about writing anything, except for the lesson plans I have to turn in. But we'll see how that goes. I doubt I'm going to get very far on it, but maybe I'll get super motivated and I'll spend 4 hours each day in the library because I don't have anything else to do. In my mind, that's what I think I'm going to do, but in reality, I know that's probably not what's going to happen. So we'll see how that works. I'm super excited to go to Panama. I'm sad to be leaving my students though, because I am getting used to them. I'm sad to leave my 5th period too. There's some kids in there that I really appreciate working with and helping me try and manage the class and stuff like that. And I'll miss their personalities, but I'm ready to change stuff. See what's new out there and have new experiences. So that is it for me. I will talk to you guys on Monday and tell you how my even day classes like the jigsaw lesson today. And have a great weekend. Remember, make today great.